Hi, I'm Ro, and I know how to give sub-Q fluids. You may or may not have heard of subcutaneous fluids before, but it's something that a lot of vets will prescribe to be done at home when a cat has kidney failure or other issues that lead to dehydration. So Ralphie here was diagnosed with kidney failure about 3 or 4 years ago, and he's been getting fluids at least every other day since then. At this point, we are up to 2 times a day. And the reason that we're doing that is to give him, his heart and his body, a little bit of a break processing the fluids. So just a couple of things before we get started. I am not a vet or a vet tech. So this is not intended to be medical advice. And I hope that you will come away from this video feeling a little bit more confident and a little bit more at ease about the whole situation. A bag of ringers, and I put that inside of this pressure cuff by Vent Lab. It's a disposable pressure infuser, but it's pretty sturdy, so I haven't had to replace it. It has a pressure gauge on it. This is a new thing I started doing recently. But I bought this Whisper 40 air pump for a fish tank, and I took the old hand pump off and I stuck this on, and now I just plug that in and it fills it up to around the 200 pressure point, and that's just right. So you can tell when it's good because just beyond a drip to where it's flowing as one stream. You see twitching, try backing the needle up a little bit, and if that doesn't help, you might need to re-stick or reduce the flow. Now these are my needles. I use the Terumo 21 gauge 1-inch ultra thin wall. That's what TW stands for. And what that means is that all the nice small sizes isn't going to hurt too much, but it's still going to flow fast. I find that when I use the pressure infuser and these needles, I can get the fluids done in at least half the time as just hanging it and using gravity alone. You know, the faster you can get this done with the least amount of pain, the better.
Ralphie, you want some fluids? Huh? Some fluids? Come here. He's not been doing too great. I've been keeping him going. Here you go, honey. Okay.
So once I'm ready, I will take off the cap. I have a trash can over here that I'll kind of spray some of it into you and clean out the line a little bit. And if you're just starting, you might want to warm up the fluid. So you want to clear out the full line if you do that, so there's not as much of a shock. Position them the way you want to sit, where you're comfortable. I like to sit on the edge of a bed or couch like this so I can get him over my leg. In the beginning, I used to put this leg over the top of his rump like this to keep him held down. And now he likes getting his fluids, so he doesn't necessarily try to struggle too much. So you want to pinch the fur somewhere in the region of, just imagine he's wearing a little saddle. You want to find that loose skin. You can go off to the sides a little bit, and I recommend you move around with each injection so that you don't keep sticking them in the same spot. So you pull it up, stick your finger in to make a little triangle, like I've now got like a pyramid coming up of skin. I like to kind of figure out where I'm going to go with my finger. You want the angled open part of the needle to be facing upward. And then parallel to the spine, you stick it in. Let that down, start the fluids. You can kind of pull the skin up a little if you need to readjust
You're trying to just keep the needle stationary at this point. You don't want to puncture muscle, so don't point it downwards. And you don't want to come back out of the skin, so make sure you don't angle it upwards. That's why you're trying not to insert too far too, and that's why I prefer the 1-inch needles. They're much easier to control. You want to make them comfortable, so you'll be petting and scratching. Ralphie likes to get his chin scratched a little. If fluids aren't coming out very well, you might try rotating the needle a little bit. All right, so you turn off the fluids, pull out, give a quick circular rub. That's to kind of make sure you don't leak. Then put the cap back on, grab the other new needle, peel it open, pop it out, twist, change. You're done. Good job. And then you'll always want to reward with a treat and some good quality attention, because this isn't easy for them. And the better you make the experience, the more likely they will be to turn out like Ralphie here and be a perfect patient. He's so good.
So, hey, thanks for joining me and Ralphie on this episode of Row Knows. I hope you learned something about subcutaneous fluids. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook for some more cute cat content. Check out my website, felinefab.com, where you can schedule a free one-on-one consultation with me. Hugs and head bonks, and I'll talk to you soon.